Did you ever feel the way Priscilla Cow felt? That you'd like to be completely different? Almost everybody feels like that once in a while. But most of the time, I hope you can be glad to be yourself. That's really something to celebrate.
It now took me a long time to talk about this specific episode, and as I've talked about Mr. Rogers a few times before. I talked about the last episode, and I also talked about how he changed my life. He really, all these little things he's helped with the children has helped me and made me the person I am today. This specific episode, I think, has to be my favorite out of the Mr. Rogers series, Mr. Rogers Neighborhood. And don't worry, I'm going to get to a lot of other episodes, but this, or a lot of other stories, or whatever everyone calls it. Just get misty-eyed here. This was an episode he talked, story, whatever, about losing a pet. And he had a pet named Mitsy. And he says it was his best friend, and Mitzi got old and passed away. And I think of my cat Tarzan, who was a little bit, not older, but died from just natural causes. And that's just life. And he talked about it. He always teach children about these things. And there's another one I want to talk about very soon, is about about shootings, or violence. Yes, violence. And I think this specific one is my favorite because he's treating yourself, treating the children like they're a human being. Not because you're not there and you're the idiot viewer that's watching, like as we see in all sorts of other different shows I'm not going to mention. He always treated the viewer, he treated the people at home, he treated the children that visited, everybody the same. And this episode, I remember watching. Now, PBS, they would play not just newer ones, because I remember watching Mr. Rogers still when he still did the show. And I remember there was a rerun, and I remember he was talking. And I'm just remembering all these different things and why people are the way they are. And maybe it is because of something they truly loved. And he just talks about it like it just comes natural with this man. And I just miss it. And I want to talk about another one about growing up, which he showed pictures of himself when he was a chubby little boy. And I really loved that too. And there's something with this episode that redefines Mr. Rogers. He's just showing all of these personal things, and he's saying, he's not the type of person, oh, I live alone, I'm in this mystery. I'm just waiting for Mrs. Rogers to come home, and I'm waiting for my sons to come home. I always loved how Fred or Mr. Rogers was like that. And yeah, this is just no competition, one of my favorites.